What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We tapping back into Scandinavia, and I seen a video of Denmark explained. I also seen the Netherlands explained, but now we got the names of Scandinavia explained. So we finna check this out, see what it's about. Y'all hit that subscribe button, send down those recommendations.
In Northern Europe, we have a region of the world known as Scandinavia, which consists primarily of 3 countries. There's a whole conversation for what is and isn't Scandinavian, but that's already been covered. So for now, we're going to look at just the 3 countries that definitely are Scandinavian: Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Think of this as a big Scandinavian special. Not only are we going to look at how these countries got their names, but also look at how their capital cities got their names, and how a famous thing from each of these countries got their names. This last section is solely here to give me an excuse to talk about Lego. And of course, we're going to be looking at the name for these countries as a whole, Scandinavia. This name is believed to come from the Old Norse Skane, which is the name for the southernmost tip of modern day Sweden. This was initially believed to be an island at first, and perhaps at one point in history it was an island. So the name is believed in turn to come from this Proto-Germanic word, with the first part of the name being unknown, but the second part being thing on the water, which fits with the island idea. This part of the world was known to the Romans as Scania or Skjolna.
So wait, did the water dry up, or what happened?
With the island idea. This part of the world was known to the Romans as Scania or Skjolna, and from this one part of Sweden the name Scandinavia evolved and took over that whole part of the world. Some even feel the name is related to the Norse goddess Skadi, though this is still up for debate. And I might be saying up for debate a few more times in this video. Scandinavia is a seriously ancient part of the world, and a lot of these etymologies aren't too clear to us. I'll do my best to figure out where these names come from, but sometimes we might hit something of an etymological dead end. We've actually done a whole video on the name Norway in the past.
I need to check that out.
But nevertheless, no harm in covering it here too. The name Norway relates to its location on the planet, that being in the north, with the name believed to mean North Way, or a way leading to the north, as it was northern to the Anglo-Saxons, with this coming from the Old Norse Norveg, which turned into the Old English Northweg and eventually into Norway. The capital of Norway is the City of Oslo. The City of Oslo has actually gone by a variety of names, it would seem. The current name of Oslo is apparently based on the Old Norse Os, which means estuary/river mouth, referencing the city's location, but Oslo hasn't always been called Oslo. Well, it was initially, and it is again now, but between then and now the name of the city was changed to Christiania. The original town of Oslo actually burnt down in a fire. King Christian IV decided to rebuild the town in a new location and rename it after himself. How very humble. But eventually this new location for the town went by the old name of Oslo once again. Perhaps the one thing Norway is most popular for is its beautiful fjords. Though fjords are found across the world, they are perhaps most well known in Norway, and the word itself is Norwegian, coming from an Old Norse word which means inlet/estuary. The most populated country of all 3 Scandinavian countries is Sweden. Now Sweden really doesn't have a clear etymology to us. It seems to be generally agreed upon that the name comes from the inhabitants of the land, the Swedes. What's interesting is that the name Sweden as we know it in the English language comes from the Scottish with their words for the name, like Swiffen and Swadne. And funnily enough, it came to the Scottish from the Middle Dutch Sweden. So if Sweden is named after its inhabitants, the Swedes, then how on earth did they get their names? It's believed to come from the Proto-Germanic Swabna, which means free/independent. So I guess Sweden could also be seen as the land of the free too. A name that seems to be somewhat more clear for us to understand.
Pretty much, because all the stuff I've been hearing, Sweden is very, very independent.
Sweden could also be seen as the land of the free too. A name that seems to be somewhat more clear for us to understand is the name of Sweden's capital city, Stockholm. The name is believed to come from a combination of 2 Swedish words, Stocka, which means log/pole, and holm, which means island/islet. So we could say Stockholm means log island. The island part of this name makes sense as the city is placed over islands, but why logs? There's a few ideas as to why it was named after logs, from using logs as markers in the city, the huge amounts of logs and stumps on the oldest islands of the city, to logs blocking ship routes so fees could be implemented. And of course, if we have to look at how a popular Swedish thing got their name, we have to look at the home of flat pack furniture with Ikea. Luckily for us, Ikea isn't some Old Norse word, but it's actually an acronym coming from the founder's name, Ingvar Kamprad, Ilmutjolid, the farm he grew up in, and Argi Unalid, the village he grew up in. And finally,
I think I heard that on one of the other videos. I can't remember.
The farm he grew up in, and Argi Unalid, the village he grew up in.
Ikea. I thought it was pronounced like Ikea in Swedish. Like, I know we call it Ikea, but I thought it was like Ikea or something like that.
Immaturlid, the farm he grew up in, and Argeunalid, the village he grew up in. And finally, we have the country of Denmark. Like Sweden, the name Denmark comes from the people who inhabited the land, the Danes. And the mark part comes from the Danish mark, which means border, which means it's the land bordered by the Danes. So what about their capital, Copenhagen? Like Stockholm's name, this comes from a compound of two words, but obviously Danish words this time, not Swedish words. In Danish, the city is called Copenhagen, which comes from the Danish korba, meaning merchant, and Danish haven, which means port, meaning Copenhagen means the merchant's port. And of course, like I said at the start of the video, we have to take a look at a famous Danish thing, which of course has to be a product which is one of the few things I love more than names. Lego, like Denmark and Copenhagen, is a combination of two Danish words, leggot. As you can, you know, play pretty well with Lego. Trust me. It was just Denmark that was suggested by Dilbert on Patreon, and thanks to their suggestion, they will now be honoured as Name Explain's patron saint of Denmark. If you want to become a Name Explain patron saint, then why not support the channel on Patreon? Just $1 and up earns you the chance to suggest a country or geographical location on the Wednesday patron saint suggestions post for the next patron saint video. Name Explain depends on awesome people like yourself giving small monthly donations to the channel, so thank you to all my patrons. These Tuesday videos are able to exist solely because of all the awesome people who support Name Explain financially on Patreon. If you enjoy these videos and want to be a greater part of our Name Explain community, then why not support the channel? Just $2 a month gets your name here with all these awesome people. Thank you.
Okay, those are interesting facts. Definitely interesting. Name Explain. I gotta check out the one with Norway. Maybe go into more detail, more depth. But I think it's always cool to learn a little bit more. I didn't know, what was it, Sweden or Scandinavia at one point was separated. Like, the earth just started moving stuff closer together or something. I don't know. But these are always interesting. If y'all got any more Scandinavian video suggestions, hey, send them my way. Let me know. You can let me know in Discord. Let me know in the comments and stuff like that. But hey, y'all know Scandinavia is my favorite. When it comes to Europe, Scandinavia is my favorite. But that's all I have for this video. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Send out those recommendations. And y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.